Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Asparagusisreading, and this is my YouTube channel, Asparagusisreading, where I talk about books and sometimes other things. If you haven't already seen the title or the thumbnail of this video, then today is going to be my September TBR. It is going to be very short, a whole lot of audiobooks, which is very interesting because I went through a very strong no audiobooks phase just because I feel like I don't fully grasp and understand the book when listening to it in comparison to physically or ebook reading. But in the last year or so, I have started doing more audiobooks. The main reason why I'm doing this very short audiobook TBR is because September. The main reason I'm doing this really short audiobook TBR is because September is going to be a very busy month. I have a lot of appointments and prior engagements, things I need to go to, lots of plans. And now that I'm back in school, we have a lot of reading. I kind of scheduled myself with 4 really reading heavy classes. I think previous semesters have been really writing heavy. Now I have a lot of reading. So there's that. All right, let's get into these books. Like I said, there's only like 6, maybe 7 books on this TBR. They're all going to be using my Libby app. Is an app where you can sign up or sign in using your library, and you can loan books and audiobooks and magazines, etc. through your library. So the first book is One for All by Lily Lainoff. I've already started this in August. I just haven't finished it yet. I'm like 60-something% through. Probably finish it before the end of the week. This is a gender-bent retelling of the Three Musketeers following a female main character with a chronic illness. And is very feminist as well. So the chronic illness that she has is POTS, and you see that come into play a lot throughout the book, which I really like and really appreciate. I feel like with many books, when it comes to chronic illnesses, the author doesn't show it a lot. It tends to be a side character, at least from my memory, is a side character, and it is not the main plot. Like, it's maybe talked about once or twice. With this, it's like a very big, prominent thing in the main character's life, and you really see that in the book and how it affects her day-to-day life and like how she does things, which I really appreciate. It's been really good so far. So far, the main character, Tanya, has gone to this finishing school because recently her father has passed away and the circumstances seems very suspect. Very suspicious. She believes that he has been murdered by someone other than what the police is saying. And in his dying wish, dying will, last note, something like that. I don't know if it's like official will or just like a letter he wrote. He had wanted her to be sent to a finishing school. So of course she's upset. She's like, I don't want to be a wife. I don't want to be a maid. I want to get married. Dad, like, you know this. I want to fight. I want to be a musketeer. And she gets there and she's like, oh, Dad does know me. And the finishing school actually ends up being kind of like a front, where to other people, outsiders, it is known as being a school to send women to train them how to be a wife, how to be a proper lady. But really also teaches the women how to defend themselves, take care of themselves, how to fight, how to seduce men, how to get secrets, how to infiltrate, all that kind of thing. So she's having a great time. I'm loving it because it kind of reminds me of the Gloffer Girl series from like my elementary, middle school days. Because if I remember correctly, the school was known to be like a little girl school, but they were like super spies. And I was like, oh yes, this book right now is getting 5 stars. I'm obsessed. It's going really good. The next book I'm going to be reading is As Seen on TV by Meredith Scores. So this is a contemporary fiction romance. It's about this main character who wants this dream contemporary rom-com romance that she sees portrayed a lot in TVs and portrayed a lot in TV. And she's starting to realize that maybe that's just not something for her, especially since she's in the big city. A lot of these romances you see happen in small towns. Well, one day, I think this big production company decides to start filming either a movie or a show, I'm not exactly sure which, I think in her town, in the city that she's in, and she's like, okay, maybe I actually have a chance. It sounds really interesting. I'm just not sure how I feel about it because there seems to be this trope where the main characters of these books will be really, really into rom-coms, but then really disappointed because they haven't had their love story yet. And it'll be that one character that loves bashing them and telling them they're a little dramatic or it's not that serious, and then end up falling for the actor or actress on the show. It's like I feel like I already have the whole plot in my head, so I'm already like 3-star vibes right now, but I don't know, we'll see when I read it. The next book that I want to read is A Proposal That They Can't Refuse by Natalie Sana. Feel free to, like I said, correct me in the comments. This is following two main characters. Both of them are kind of in a point in their life where they really need to do something or want to do something. I think the female main character wants to kind of renovate, redo her family's restaurant to kind of get it back on the map, get people more interested. It's kind of a little old, kind of a little boring. And I think the male main character wants to keep the house in his family or something. I think something like that. And for them to get that, both of their grandparents are telling them to get married. They're like, yeah, I'm getting old, and unless you get married, I'm not giving it to you. They're like, oh great. And their grandparents happen to be friends, and they happen to know about the main characters. So they're like, hey, marry this person. And so the two of them come up with this plan to fake date / fake engage so that they can trick their family member that they're getting married and to get the thing that they want, which I believe is the house and the restaurant. This sounds very messy. Also, the meddling family members is a very common trope that I've been seeing this couple. Wow, it is a very common trope that I've been seeing in these last few months, and so far they've been hit or miss for me. So I'm very curious to see if I like this one. The next book I want to read is Darling Girl by Liz Michalski. This is a Peter Pan retelling. It follows the granddaughter of Wendy Darling and her great-grandkids. So Wendy's granddaughter and then the granddaughter's kids. The granddaughter goes missing from her hospital medical caring facility. She has this condition where she ages rapidly, and she has her blood that can make someone young and keep their youth, I believe. And so the mother, granddaughter Wendy, I don't remember her name, she has a very, very, very strong inkling that she knows exactly who this is. And she realized, okay, Peter Pan, I see you. You trying to be slick? Come back into my family's life and ruin it again? So, fortunately, I don't think she's able to get help, or if she does try to get help, probably people won't believe her because, Peter Pan's supposed to be a fairy tale, a story. And so she ends up being the only one that's able to go on this fictional adventure and try to save her daughter. And I do believe the son might be in danger. I'm not really sure if his blood is as important, is as special as his sister. I'm not sure where exactly he is in the book. Did he live with mom or has he moved out? But it's not very interesting. I don't read a lot of Peter Pan retellings. I tend to do more princess retellings, and so I think this will be very interesting to read. And speaking of retellings, I also have Bravely by Maggie Stiefvater. This is supposed to be a sequel that happens years after the movie Brave, where Merida, I think, runs into two spirits, two villains, I believe, who have this plan to destroy the entire land, all these kingdoms, and the only way to get them not to do that and to stop them is for Merida to go to all three kingdoms and convince them to change their ways and to end the war. I think there's a war going on. It reminds me of Brave because I believe towards the beginning of the movie her parents are trying to get her betrothed to someone, and if I remember correctly, there are 3 people competing for that marriage position. She has to now travel, I believe by boat, and maybe on horseback, to each of these 3 kingdoms to convince them to change their ways, and to do so by the time frame, which I believe is a year, to save everyone. Sounds exciting. I really like Brave, and I feel like it deserved a sequel, but unfortunately no one else seemed to think that, so... But I'm nervous because the time frame is supposed to be a year. I think she can do all that within a year, right? For a book that's about 350-ish pages, I think, I feel like that is a lot for 350-ish pages, and I feel like it might be very fast-paced, and I'm pretty sure, just based on my previous taste and previous reads, I'm gonna be disappointed because I feel like it's going to be a little too fast and possibly underdeveloped. Maybe like a little convenient. Because like, I feel like for a year, you would think that the plot would be a little slow. But since the book is like 350 pages, for her to travel 3 kingdoms and then come back and, you know, defeat the villains or whatever, I just feel like the year maybe, I don't know, I just feel like the pacing might be a little off. I could be just being like dramatic and anxious and concerned for no reason, but we'll see. Okay, so I'm in my pajamas now, but I realized that I forgot to mention 2 books. I did count correctly, but I didn't talk about 2 of them. I don't know how. My mind's kind of all over the place. So the first one that I forgot to talk about is Out of the Blue by Jason June. This follows Crest, who is a merman who has to go on a journey, which is a month-long quest event journey on land, where every merfolk, every, you know, mermaid or merman has to do in their teens. And the rules for him is simple: to help a human within 1 moon cycle and return to Pacifica to become an elder. And if you fail, you're stuck on land forever. And so Crest, it really just wants to get done and over with. He's like, listen, I'm good, no thank you. Just let me get it done and over with so I can move on with my life. And he's also just not really excited because humans have polluted the planet and have put a bunch of trash in the ocean, really just done a lot of not great things that made it difficult for the merfolk to live. So he now is a human and he has a new name, and he's currently living on land and he's to do his journey. And he ends up meeting Sean, who is a human lifeguard whose ex-boyfriend has recently dumped him. And so for this mission, this journey that that Crest has to complete, he decides to help make Sean's ex-boyfriend jealous and to get him back. But I believe as more time is spent together, you know, maybe feelings about each other and humans start to change and develop, and maybe they'll feel a little torn between both the human and the merfolk world. And I do believe there's supposed to be some fake dating to get the ex-boyfriend jealous. I'm curious to see how the worlds will collide, but also like maybe come together, and how him being a merman all his life, how that may affect how he does things as a temporary human. And the other book that I forgot to mention is Nothing More to Tell by Karen McManus. Nothing More to Tell follows this main character named Bryn, who has left this school a long time ago, probably not that long, probably like a couple years ago, after a murder of one of the teachers happened, and she's now back a couple years later, as she is starting up her dream or internship at a true crime show. And she decides to come back to this town because she wants to try and find out what happened with the murder of that teacher. And the only way to do that, or at least a great way to start, is the people that found the teacher in the first place. One of them is her ex-best friend, Trip. And one of the issues is that without his account of the events, the other 2 kids might have gone down for the murder. So if he didn't say anything, they probably would have went down for the murder and it would have been a wrap, done deal. But he's very loyal to them and they're very loyal to him because they have never forgotten what he did for them and how he, you know, told the story. But they also did not forget that he lied, and he also himself did not forget that almost everything he said was a lie. And so now as Bryn is going to start investigating, looking into the woods and uncovering secrets and all those naughty, secret, mysterious things that you know that happens in all of these YA books, where this random girl in her teens and young adult age decides to snoop around some suspicious murder or missing person case in a small town and magically solves it. Okay, so I thought that there was another book on this list, but I think that is all of them. Very short, very quick TBR. If you have made this far, drop a cup or drink related emoji. I'm currently drinking this grape flavored slushy with nerds from Sonic because it was hot today and I want to reward myself for having a good day and being prepared and talking during discussion groups. But yeah, drop a cup drink related emoji. Let me know what you're planning to read in September. If you have read any of these books, let me know what you thought of them. If you have not, let me know if you do plan to read them. If you have anything else to say, just say hi. And with that being said, have a good day, good night, good evening, good morning, whatever time it is where you are, and I'll see you in the next one.